News with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on this Wednesday morning. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And the BR, the beneficial rain, is finally here.
Yes, and it's in full force this morning. It is coming down pretty good. I know a lot of lawns, crops, gardens, they're rejoicing right now. In fact, let's take a look at the radar. This is not a simple pop-up storm here and there. No, this is the first time in probably, I would even say over a month, we've seen this wide spread of a rainfall across the region. Pretty much from Old Forge down to Oneonta, everyone's seeing their fair share, at least of, at the minimum, light rain, at the most, moderate, steady rainfall. So far, no serious downpours. In fact, the actual thunderstorms, as expected, are staying outside of our area. It's just too cold this morning for them to form. They're actually firing up in the just south of the southern tier in Pennsylvania. The temperatures, by the way, 59 degrees. Now, the temperature today, it's actually not cooler than what we saw the past few days, but this is really about as warm as it gets for the entire day today. Yes, we are tracking rainfall right now, and it will be steadily decreasing throughout the morning with some spotty on and off showers. But look at this. Today's highs, pretty much steady all day long. Upper 50s, low 60s. So maybe one of those days you want to grab that rain jacket or even a light sweatshirt, depending on how you fare with 50s. But we are tracking an end of the rainfall later on tonight, and what follows in that full forecast coming up. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away each morning. New this morning, the governor of New Jersey is calling for a ban on swimming in the ocean ahead of Hurricane Erin. This as communities in North Carolina are evacuated and houses in the Outer Banks are threatened. This is drone footage over Rodanthe, North Carolina. You can see some of the homes right there underwater. It shows waves reaching several homes on the beach, even ahead of the worst of Erin, which is not expected to make landfall, but is so huge it will affect communities up and down the East Coast. We'll continue to follow the latest developments from Hurricane Erin throughout the day. Well, there were some tense moments at the Texas State Capitol in Austin last night. Protesters were evacuated and moved away from the building after a report.
Welcome back to Sunrise, everybody. Time now 5:13, and early today, well, it's pretty self-explanatory if you hear it on your roof or if you look out your window. It's a bit rainy out there. A live look at some roadways this morning, and it's pretty damp. Now, typical culprits of low-lying roadways might have some ponding to this steady rainfall, especially, of course, usually the low-lying areas of the arterial. You might have some minor ponding there. Visibility lowered due to the rainfall today. Obviously, that's not really too much in terms of fog. There's a crash on the thruway near Albany that is heading westbound, though. So if you're heading out to Albany today, you should have no issues on the traffic tracker. Now, this morning, we are tracking widespread steady rainfall for the next 2, maybe 3 hours. Following that, the rainfall this afternoon turns a bit more scattered, on and off rain mixed in with cloudy skies. So either way, today it's a damp one, no doubt about it, but I think a lot of us agree that we definitely need this rain. Now, following today, there will be conditions drying up, especially by tonight and through tomorrow. We'll track that, plus how the rest of the week shapes up in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Happening today, rain or shine, Utica University.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Today we are tracking widespread rainfall, much needed rain across the area. A live look at downtown Utica. The rain is falling outside pretty steadily, and the temperature at 59 degrees in downtown Utica, sitting at 59 in Rome. Now, I want to mention this too. Today's high may be hitting 61 degrees. Take a guess on the last time our high temperature for the day was that low. You got to go all the way back beyond August, beyond July, into the first day of June. Remember how May and June started out, or at least much of May and early June started out very rainy and cold, and we wondered if summer would be a bust, and then sure enough, the heat and dry weather kicked in full force. Well, we're seeing a return back to early June and late May with the arrival of this widespread rain today. This is a good soaker as this wave of low pressure passes over us from the west. Now, rainfall totals right now still slowly entering the quarter inch or above in some pockets. You can see Sherburne, Lawrence, Camden, Coldbrook all above a quarter of an inch. And we still have plenty more on the way here too. This is going to be a steadily rainfall event for the next several hours, and on and off rain as we head into this afternoon. So while we're dealing with rainfall, some of the East Coast dealing with Erin, still a Category 2 hurricane, and watch as it moves its way up the coast. Look at this right here. This is North Carolina. Look how close the hurricane gets. It doesn't officially make landfall, but it is influencing North Carolina and parts of the Atlantic coast with those winds and waves. Then the hurricane continues out east, missing us entirely. So if you're wondering about if the hurricane's going to affect us at all, the answer is no. Still, though, even in the North Atlantic, it still has 105-mile-an-hour winds at Friday in the mid-morning hours. So on our Skycast day, we're still tracking all that beneficial rain across the area heading into this afternoon. The rainfall turns scattered on and off. Still, though, it's going to be a bit damp out there. Now, by tonight, lingering sprinkles exist. Patchy fog, overnight lows only in the mid to low 50s. Then by Thursday, the sunshine moves in by the early afternoon, and then we're going to track plenty of sun to wrap up the work week. So your 7-day forecast, not too bad of a stretch of weather following this rain. Scattered thunderstorms arrive late Saturday night and into Sunday. And that's about as warm as it gets. You'll notice by next week, we still have signs of low 70s and upper 60s. So the overall pattern trend, Gary, pointing toward a cooler end of August. So maybe it is time to say goodbye to all that summertime heat. Can't rule it out entirely, but the trend points to less intense heat and humidity.
But as you mentioned, those lawns are loving this today.
Oh, for sure. A lot of green, hopefully a lot more green popping up.
Eric, thanks. The time right now is 5:23. Still once again, and thank you for joining us. I'm Gary Liberatore. You might not be able to hear it, but the rain is coming down right here on our roof pretty well. Meteorologist Eric Gage is in, and Eric, we haven't seen this in quite a while.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're talking widespread rain, Gary. The last time we've seen this, maybe over a month ago, if that. It's been such a dry stretch. In fact, I look at the radar, something that we haven't seen in a while, this widespread rain for pretty much all of the New York State area, including central New York here. The rainfall is steadiest right now as we head throughout the morning. We're going to see that rainfall taper off a little bit. Still scattered rain showers, but the heaviest of the rain is falling in the Mohawk Valley in south. A few lighter showers up in the Adirondacks. So that's the way the overall pattern is shaping up right now. So steady rain taking place in Hamilton and Rome right now. Temperatures in the 50s. And a look outside, obviously, it's a bit rainy out there. Watch out for some ponding on the roadways. As you head throughout the day today, expect those temperatures to really not change all too much. Highs remaining in the upper 50s, low 60s. About as cool as we get this time of year. This is about as actually this temperature typical of October. So it does have a taste of October out there today. But we'll be back in the 70s and 80s again later on this week. We'll track that, plus when this rain ends, coming up in a few short minutes. Gary?
Happy Halloween, right?
Happy Halloween, Gary.
Eric, thanks. Well, new this morning, the governor of New Jersey is calling for a ban on swimming in the ocean ahead of Hurricane Erin. Red flags have been posted at several beaches across New Jersey. The governor is calling for a ban on swimming. Delaware and New York City are joining New Jersey with swim bans as Erin churns up rough surf. The dangers include rip currents, tall waves, and localized coastal flooding. The rough surf is expected to peak today into Thursday and could continue into Saturday if Erin moves slowly. Russia continues to intensify its assault on eastern
Welcome back, everybody, to Sunrise. Our photo of the day today takes us to Herkimer. Shout out to those of you watching from Herkimer this morning. And this photo right here is a photo of a bee at work. And look at this great shot right here. Zoom up of the bee itself. Just look how detailed that photo is right there. I always forget the colors on the bee have some sort of hairs, it looks like, on them. Either way, amazing photo sent in anonymously. If you have a photo like this you'd like to share with us, send it to the link right there in the top of your screen, wktv.com/weather/pics, where it's an honor to share all of your amazing photos that you take the time out to take every single day right here on the News Channel 2 at Sunrise. Now today starts out in the 50s, widespread rainfall. We're tracking that rain, how much more we could see and how much has already fallen straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. There is quite the new addition to the Utica.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Widespread rain falling over parts of our area this morning. Beneficial, much needed rain across the region. A live look at downtown Utica. Rain is falling pretty steadily at this hour, and aside from some ponding on roadways, really the only impacts this morning. Grab that umbrella as you head outside. 59 in downtown Utica, 59 in Rome, with some muggy conditions out there, and the fact that this is about as warm as it's going to get all day long today. Upper 50s, maybe low 60s. By the way, last time we hit that temperature of a high, maybe in the low 60s, upper 50s, June 1st. So it's been quite a while since we had this cool of a day today. Much of the widespread rain falling in the Mohawk Valley and south. Yes, a few scattered showers up north, but much of that steadiest of rain taking place south of the Thruway. And we're not done with the rainfall this morning. We still have a few scattered showers to deal with this afternoon, but in the meantime, here's how much has fallen so far from the Mesonet network. We have some pockets already over ½ an inch in Brookfield and in Lawrence. Same thing for Sherburne, 0.39 inches in Camden. And the less, or at least the least amount of rainfall as expected up in Old Forge. And here's how much more rain you're going to see throughout the day today. So we still have plenty more to expect across mainly the Mohawk Valley and south. Just a few more light showers expected heading north of the Mohawk Valley. Still, Hurricane Erin, Category 2. It's barely missing the Carolina coast right here, as is still a Category 2. And then as we head into the next few days, Friday and Saturday, hurricane pushes out to sea. It's missing us entirely here in central New York. But at least for the short term, we're still tracking these rain showers steadily this morning, scattered showers this afternoon, a few lingering sprinkles overnight tonight, and then lingering clouds and fog Thursday morning, turn to sunshine by Thursday evening and highs in the 70s. So this cooler and rainier stretch of weather today is short-lived. We're back into the upper 70s, low 80s by Friday and Saturday. But we look ahead to the long-term forecast, and there could be some chances for 70s and 60s by next week as more rain chances return. We'll be right back.
News with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on this Wednesday morning. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And yes, that beneficial rain is finally here.
And it's falling pretty heavily. You can hear it on our roof here this morning, and help a lot of you, especially those of you who are farmers, definitely looking forward to this too as well. You'll make sure your crops are all good too. And we look at the radar and we can see that rain falling pretty heavily, or I should say somewhat moderately. I don't want to say this is extremely heavy rainfall like some of the thunderstorms are, but either way, much of that steadiest of rain falling in the Thruway area and south, primarily in the southern valleys. Those of you south desperately need that rainfall, and this is great news. Doesn't discount the fact those of you up north need it too, but we're going to get what Mother Nature gives us, and at least right now, she's given us a lot of steady rainfall, primarily in the southern valleys and Mohawk Valley, with a few lingering light sprinkles and showers in the Adirondacks. So following this morning's steady rain, it's going to produce a few more scattered showers by the afternoon, so the steadiest of rain begins to taper off. Still, though, we are in the 50s in the Mohawk Valley with steady rainfall. That's about as warm as we get throughout the day today. In fact, with the rainfall across the areas you can see outside in Utica, It's going to keep those temperatures on the cooler side. Highs in the upper 50s, low 60s. It will feel like an October day today. The coolest it's been for a daytime high since June 1st. So it's been quite a while since we've seen a day like today. So enjoy the rainfall if you're a rain fan, and especially for those of you who have gardens, lawns, and crops that desperately need it. Definitely some much needed rainfall. We're going to track when this ends and what follows for the rest of the week coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. New this morning, the governor of New Jersey is calling for a ban on swimming in the ocean ahead of Hurricane Erin. This as communities in North Carolina have already been evacuated and houses in the Outer Banks are definitely being threatened. This is drone footage over at Rodanthe, North Carolina. And it is expected to make, Erin is not expected to make landfall, but is so huge it will affect communities up and down the East Coast. Of course, we'll continue to follow the latest developments from Hurricane Erin throughout the day. Well, there were some tense moments at the Texas.
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
A good rain down there in Cooperstown this morning. Good morning, everybody. Time now is 6:13, and as you head outside today, well, you're going to encounter some pretty damp roadways. Steady rainfall taking place pretty much all across the central New York area. There's some minor ponding in low-lying areas. Typical culprits, you know, the low-lying places in the arterial, obviously. But other than that, it's a beneficial rain. We're enjoying this 100%. The visibility this morning lowered in some pockets due to low-lying clouds and that rainfall, but that's really about it. Impacts, no accidents to report. That westbound accident on the thruway has since ended. No indications of accidents right here on the traffic tracker. So today, what can you expect? Steady rain pretty much all morning. Keep that umbrella handy and, dare I say, rain jacket or even just a sweater, if anything like that. It's not warming up that much today. Highs in the upper 50s, low 60s with still some lingering showers in the afternoon. So following today, things are going to dry up. They're going to warm up a little bit. We'll have a look at how the rest of the week shapes up in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Happening today, rain or shine, Utica University will officially welcome the incoming class of students to campus. Members of the university community, including returning
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Much needed rain falling across the area on this Wednesday morning. Good morning, everybody. Today, we're still tracking some of that rainfall. A live look in downtown Utica. Still rather damp out there early this morning. It's 58 degrees. It's actually dropped or, in fact, risen a degree or two in some pockets of the area, depending on location. We can see the muggy conditions out there today, but I think the main thing, though, it's rainy and it's cool. Highs today, upper 50s, low 60s. So the radar is picking up on some of that steady rainfall. A lightning bolt has been reported in Ithaca, but that's really about it. Here locally, lots of just steady, consistent rain, mainly south of the thruway. We zoom out. This is part of a wave of low pressure moving in from the west, influencing our weather today. Rainfall totals still slowly rising. Parts of our area already over ½ an inch, and we are expected to see those numbers climb at least maybe another ½ an inch or so in a lot of the area. Much of central New York will be seeing an inch minimum of rain, with the exception of the North Country, where a lot of that steadiest of rainfall is not exactly panning out like what we expected so far yesterday. Still, though, the most notable weather system impacting, or at least not really impacting, but in the vicinity of the U.S. is Hurricane Erin. Still a Category 2. It is going to narrowly miss the coast of North Carolina right here, still with 110-mile-an-hour winds. So, although technically it doesn't make landfall, landfall being the eye of the storm hits the coast, it's still going to influence the coast of the Atlantic here with some high surf and some strong winds. And it continues out to sea. Look at this. It misses the Northeast. It's still a Category 2 off the shores of Long Island and the New England coast, even on Friday with 105-mile-an-hour winds. So it's a close call, but we're missing it, thankfully. And in the process, we're also seeing some beneficial rainfall today. That steady rain continues this morning. It turns a bit scattered this afternoon with on and off rainfall expected until this evening. By tonight, a few lingering sprinkles are expected. Early morning fog turns to sunshine by Thursday afternoon, and high temperatures in the 70s. And it does dry up for Friday too, upper 70s, low 80s by Saturday with a few thunderstorms late. And then we're going to see some storms rolling again on Sunday. Things cool down again. The overall trend points toward a cooler August, Gary. So we have that to look forward to. But as long as we get some beneficial rain the next few times, the lawns, maybe they turn a little more green. But we need days like this, so we enjoy days like tomorrow and Friday.
Yeah, it has been a while, that's for sure. And be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us once again. And thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Liberatore. If you liked the rain, you've missed it. It's finally back. Meteorologist Eric Gage over in the Weather Center. And just how long are we talking about this rain today?
A day-long rain day today, Gary. A good soaker this afternoon. You take a look outside this morning, and we are still dealing with that steady rainfall, primarily in the Mohawk Valley and south. The heaviest of the rain actually exiting toward the capital region right now, but we still are tracking plenty of green and yellows here. Now, we're going to expect this to produce a bit more scattered rainfall. As you can see, the most widespread of it heading east, but it's going to be unsettled for much of the day today with some on and off rain throughout the afternoon. Temperatures this morning, feeling like the upper 50s to mid 50s. It's about as warm as it's going to get all day long today. This is the coldest it's going to be for a daytime high since June 1st. If you remember how cool and rainy it was in early June and late May, expect a similar day today. Downtown Utica, it is a rainy one out there, and the temperatures today, again, only peaking in the upper 50s, low 60s with on and off rain showers throughout the afternoon. We're going to track when this rainfall ends tonight, plus what we expect heading into the rest of the work week coming up in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. The governor of New Jersey is calling for a ban on swimming in the ocean ahead of Hurricane Erin. Red flags have been posted at several beaches across New Jersey. The governor is calling for a ban on swimming. Delaware and New York City are also joining in that ban as the rough surf turns up. The dangers include rip currents, tall waves, and localized coastal flooding. The rough surf is expected to peak today into Thursday and could continue into Saturday if Erin moves slowly. Russia continues to intensify its...
Channel 2 is brought to you by Holland Farms Bakery and Deli. This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Little damp in Cooperstown this morning, though. Much needed rain falling across the area. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Today, our photo of the day takes us to the village of Herkimer. Shout out to those of you watching from that section in the Mohawk Valley early today. In this photo, a close-up shot of a bee, what appears to be a bumblebee, hard at work here. And look at how detailed that photo is. You always see them flying around, but sometimes you don't quite see just how detailed their bodies are. Look at their eyes too, pretty interesting, the outline of them too. But either way, they're great insects, beneficial for a lot of our flowers and a lot of our pollination here in central New York. So if you have a photo like this you'd like to share with us of anything as small as right here, a bee or an animal or the sun rising, clouds, rain, trees, foliage coming up in a couple of months, still send it to WKTV.com/weather/pics. Great to see all your photos featured right here on News Channel 2 at sunrise. We're tracking that rainfall and a lot more detail coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Some scary moments for passengers aboard.
Most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. Today we are tracking widespread, much needed rainfall across central New York. We take a look at downtown Utica, where the rainfall is still taking place, not nearly as heavy as this morning, but It's still falling out there. The current temperature sitting at 59 degrees, and that's about as warm as we'll get all day long with the lack of serious heat coming from the south and the steady rainfall all day long. It's about as warm as we're going to be since early June. That's when we had those days that barely made it above 60, 61 degrees. The radar is still picking up on that steady rain pretty much all across the Mohawk Valley and south. The rainfall a lot lighter, especially as you head more to the north. And we look at the bigger picture here. Much of that energy, the low pressure system, pushing its way east over the next few hours. Rainfall totals, this was updated about a half hour ago. We have since seen some of these pockets here. Brookfield, even parts of Sherburne, picking up nearly an inch or more of rainfall, and expect these numbers to climb. We'll post up more updated numbers here on social media as well as on News Channel 2 at noon based off how much more rain we're going to see. You can see right here a lot of the area, minimum an inch of rainfall with the exception of areas to the north where that rain is not nearly as intense. So while weather is pretty busy here with that steady rainfall, the southeast and the Atlantic coast keeping a very close eye on Hurricane Erin. Still Category 2. It is narrowly missing the coast of the Atlantic here, right along North Carolina. Look at this. It doesn't officially make landfall. Landfall is when the eye of the hurricane makes or touches land. But we're still seeing the outskirts of the wind and even the strong winds and the high waves. This hurricane will continue to move its way toward the Atlantic out east, missing the northeast entirely. Still, though, it's a close call. 105 mile an hour winds as a Category 2, despite it being right off the coast of New England. So today, we're still tracking a few rain showers. It's going to be a bit more on and off the afternoon and the evening, not nearly as widespread as what took place earlier this morning. Then lingering sprinkles in the evening and overnight. Tomorrow, clouds and fog turn to sunshine. High temperatures in the 70s as the rest of the week shapes up rather nicely. Mid to upper 70s by Friday, low 80s by Saturday with lots of sunshine. Then a few storms arrive late, and that continues through Sunday. High of 77, then cooling down by next week. We'll be right back.
With Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 and meteorologist Eric Gage.
And we begin this noon with Hurricane Erin. It's pretty treacherous out there.
Yeah, and this is a live view of Erin in the path right now. It is expected to hook its way up north. It's narrowly missing the coast of the Atlantic, heading up to the northern Atlantic, so the direct impact's not there, but there still are some impacts, right?
It's definitely affecting the East Coast for sure, and while not expected to make landfall, a state of emergency has been declared for North Carolina's Outer Banks.
And that's where NBC's Aaron Gilchrist joins us with more.
North Carolina's Outer Banks do expect to see tropical storm conditions before the sun goes down today. It's what people here have been preparing for the last several days. We know that evacuation orders have already been executed, really, as you look at Hatteras Island and Ocracoke Island along the Outer Banks here. And the expectation is that the waves you see behind me will continue to increase in ferocity and increase in size as the day goes on into tonight, when we also expect to see some rainfall, and into tomorrow as well. We know that the storm surge expectation is about 2 to 4 feet in this area. There's also a risk of coastal flooding really extending from South Florida all the way up to the Boston area. So any parts of the eastern seaboard can expect to see much more wave action and potentially flooding, more so than they might expect under these sorts of conditions, when we know that this large hurricane is still far out to sea. It's 400 or so miles plus maybe from the North Carolina coast at this point, but it's going to get a little bit closer, and that's when we expect to see potentially waves that could reach 15 or 20 feet in height. The warning for everybody is to stay away from the water, not just to stay out of the water as you look at all these different places along the East Coast. The advisory is to just stay away from the water because it could push onto beaches or oceanfront property very quickly, and officials here are warning folks not to get too close and put their lives at risk. They've also warned people to, as early as possible, check their property to make sure that things are secured for any water that may come farther inland. Those are the warnings set out right now. We know there are people on Hatteras Island here in North Carolina who've chosen to stay and ride out the storm. If the major highway there does wash out, some of those people are likely to be stuck potentially for several days. The folks we spoke to said they're ready to ride out the storm under those conditions. Again, dangerous rip currents expected all up and down the eastern seaboard, and the advisory for everyone on the East Coast is to stay away from the beaches as much as possible. Back to you.
NBC's Aaron Gilchrist reporting now. The good news, we're not expected to see much from this, right?
Yeah, and here again, here's a live view of the hurricane. I mean, it is massive. Look at the size of this. Several states in that strength, but when it comes to the direct impacts, not a whole lot, in fact, if any, here in central New York. Let's take a look at the radar right now, where we are still tracking some rainfall. In fact, you want to be thankful for this rain today. Not only is it bringing some beneficial rain to this very dry stretch of weather, 30, 60 days below average here in central New York. We zoom out here, this front's pushing its way east. In the process, it's keeping that hurricane out to sea. If this was not that westerly wind, we could have a potentially Category 1 or 2 landfall of a hurricane here in the Northeast. So be thankful for this rainfall today for that fact here, keeping us entirely impact-free from this. We're not even getting any rainfall from it. It's all from the west. We've actually dropped in temperature throughout the day today. We started out in the upper 50s. We're on the mid-50s right now at Rome, 56 degrees. In fact, the hot spot is 72 in Dansville. This is atypical this time of year. Normally we sit around 80 degrees. So that's the case right now. It's still a bit damp out there. It's cloudy. It's breezy. Definitely feels like an early October day out there today. And we'll still feel October-ish for this evening and tonight. Lingering rain. This does end. We will be seeing a lot more sunshine tomorrow and Friday with some warmer temperatures, back to more August-like conditions. We'll track that, plus the latest on the rainfall accumulations coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. A Utica woman is facing a rarely used...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everybody. Today, a rainy one. It feels like even mid-October out there today. Break out the flannels, but it's only short term, though. We do have some warmth back on the way again. By the way, the last time it was this cold in central New York was in early June, June 1st. It's been so hot and dry the past couple of months. We forgot what this weather feels like out there. It's 57 out there right now. It is just mind-boggling how cold it is compared to what we usually see here in August. Comfortable levels of humidity, though, so that's the good news. We still have some lingering rain showers. Now, for a lot of you who have gardens, crops, and even some dry lawns, this has been just nothing but beneficial rain. As this system is slowly exiting, we'll see some spotty showers here and there, but the heaviest of rain is over and done with. As you can see here, the rainfall chances are going to decrease a little bit. They were peaking in the mid-morning, but still, the feels like temperatures of those winds feel like the mid to low 50s. Definitely got some sweatshirt weather out there today. Rainfall totals, Southern Valley's got the brunt of it here. 1.87 inches in Lawrence, 1.27 in Brookfield, only about 0.19 inches in Old Forge. A lot of that heaviest of rain fell in the Mohawk Valley and south. How much more additional rain? Well, we still have maybe a few pockets of 1/10 of an inch, maybe 1/4 of an inch in some areas, but most of it, again, has ended. And we're going to start to see a bit of a drying trend looking ahead to the end of the week. So we're still keeping a close eye on Hurricane Erin, still a Category 2. It is narrowly missing the U.S. coast. Look at this. It is still somewhat influencing the beaches here along North Carolina, the Atlantic coast, but just seeing how close of a call this major hurricane is from the northeast is pretty alarming, and just thank goodness it's heading out to sea and really no impacts at all here in central New York. So we still have the rain today. The rain's going to linger on a little bit heading into this evening. A few light sprinkles again tonight, and then by tomorrow, after some morning fog and cloud cover, the clouds exit. We're looking at a beautiful day. Sunshine, a rare northeast wind here in central New York, and highs in the 70s. Then by tomorrow night, it's going to be a cool one. Overnight lows in the 40s. Open up those windows, let in all that refreshing air. We've got another beautiful Friday on tap. High temperatures in the 70s. No rainfall expected. And even as we head into Saturday, we're going to see that pattern shift. It's going to be a warmer one. High of 82, lots of sunshine. Storms develop later on in the day. 77 on Sunday with a few scattered thunderstorms. And then following that, we're going to cool down again a little bit. Heading into Monday and Tuesday of next week. Overall, this pattern points to a lot less 90s and 80s we were accustomed to the last few months, and more 70s and 60s as we round up August and head towards September. So maybe it is time to break out the flannel, or do you think it's too early, Gary?
A little bit early, but it's kind of refreshing after what we've been through.
Oh yeah, it's very comfortable out.
2 months and 90 degrees.
Oh yeah.
Eric, thanks. While we here in the Northeast are dealing with the potential impacts of Hurricane Erin, millions out west are coping with brutal temperatures. NBC's Steve Patterson has the latest on the heat from Arizona.
Yeah, 60 million people now under extreme heat warnings. Meanwhile, Phoenix already heating up. It is early in the morning, and already you can see the thermometer behind me, 90 degrees, could get up to the 110s, could crest over that over the next few days, with miserable lows not dropping below 85 degrees. Cooling stations popping up across the region. Phoenix already reporting something like 17,000 people have used their cooling stations alone this summer. Maricopa County reporting 44 deaths related to the heat. Meanwhile, Southern California watching this as well. Forecasters predicting the worst heat wave of the year coming up in the next few days. The worry, of course, is about fire red flag warnings starting this morning. So incredibly hot temperatures mixed with dry conditions and windy conditions, a recipe for those wildfires. Officials are already warning people who live in or around those fire zones to have a bag packed, be prepared, and get ready to go. Send it back to you.
And Eric Gage joining us once again. And Eric, boy, what a change from what we've seen all summer today.
Yeah, it's been shorts and t-shirt weather, sunscreen, everything like that. But I think the flannel's approaching.
Get it out, right?
Of course, you know, it's a little bit before you actually get actual flannel season. But I always like posting this picture here. Objects in mirror closer than they appear. Just a heads up that the flannel season is slowly approaching. We can't escape it, but here it comes. But the radar right now is showing rainfall, and those temperatures make it feel like it's flannel season out there today. We look at the latest rainfall, on the radar here. A lot of it is exiting out toward the capital region, downstate, near Massachusetts, New England. In the meantime, we have some lingering moisture, some on and off light showers, but the heaviest of rain is exiting out to the east. Still, chill out in the air today. 57 in Rome. Look at this. It's 61 in Saranac Lake. How often is it warmer in Saranac Lake than it is in here in the Mohawk Valley? Well, that's the case today, with some lingering clouds and showers. That's the case right here. Take a live look at downtown Utica. Cloudy. It's damp. Expect similar conditions with no big change in the weather for the next couple of hours. Tonight, lingering rain does end. And as we head into tomorrow, we will see a change. Sunshine moves in, temperatures climb again. We'll track that, plus how the overall seasonal trend is shifting toward the end of the month, coming up in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. The California resident is...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon. Plenty of rain, beneficial rain falling in parts of our area today. We'll have a look at those totals here in a second. First, though, a live look outside. Things are slowly drying up a little bit. Yeah, there are a few lingering showers, but the heaviest of rain has ended compared to earlier this morning. But what hasn't ended is the cool down. It is a very cool afternoon out there, very breezy one as well. Officially 13 mile-an-hour winds from the east and a light rain at 57 degrees. It's been quite the different story out there in terms of temperature. The radar again showing some rainfall ending, but still we are tracking a few of those light rain showers here across the board. Our high for the day was 62-ish degrees, and that was at 1 a.m. In the daytime hours, we've been sticking to the 50s. Our normal low is at 60, so you can see just how different that temperature is compared to a normal. Our normal high sits at 80 this time of year. Wind speed still a bit breezy, and rainfall chances are still going to be hit or miss for the next few hours. So when it comes to rainfall, much of the heaviest of rain actually fell south of the Mohawk Valley in the southern valleys. 1.87 inches in Lawrence, 1.72 in Sherburne. The actual highest total was down in parts of south of Syracuse, reporting over 2 inches of rain. As you head farther north, the totals decrease only about maybe a 1/20 of an inch in Old Forge. So, yes, we can take what we can get. It's definitely much needed, especially for those of you who are farmers out there and the crops might look a little dry. Any more additional rain? Well, really not a whole lot, maybe a 1/10, quarter of an inch in parts of our area, if that. The brunt of it, again, did already end earlier this morning, and now we're seeing the end or the tail end of the system here. So while things are quieting down here locally, still pretty notable hurricanes still in the Atlantic coast. And just the fact that this is narrowly missing the U.S. Look how close it gets to North Carolina. It's going to extend out to sea as a Category 2 when it hits closer to the same latitudes as Long Island. So the fact that the winds here are helping us right now, if the winds were not there, we could have had a direct shot of a Category 1 or 2 hurricane here in the Northeast. So thankful for the westerly winds today, which, again, still brought that beneficial rain to our area. So, despite the westerly winds which carried this year, the winds are now shifting more to the east, especially toward the ground. And then by tonight, lingering light sprinkles and showers end. Fog and clouds start your Thursday, but then sunshine moves in by Thursday afternoon. And this pretty much stays the same, at least in terms of the lack of rainfall for the next few days. Overnight lows in the 40s, a cool start to your Friday morning, up into the 70s by Friday afternoon, and then by Saturday, it's looking pretty nice. Sunshine, start your day, a mainly dry one. We will be tracking a few storms from a front arriving Saturday night into Sunday, and after that front moves through, we're going to see a change in the weather pattern, going from the 70s down into the 60s by next week. Overall, that pattern looking a bit more like early September than what we usually see here in mid to late August. Gary?
Eric, thank you. We are back with News Talk.
And boy, did we get the rain today.
We did. We needed it. We also got the cool weather. We're only in the 50s this afternoon, and that's where we stand currently. Look at the rainfall totals across the southern valleys. As expected, 1 to 2 inches fell. Lawrence, 1.8 inches. Morrisville, 1.41 inches. In the Mohawk Valley, about 3/4 of an inch. Herkimer, 7/10 of an inch of rainfall. Westmoreland, a little over 6/10 of an inch. Old Forge getting lesser amounts as expected, about 1/4 of an inch of rainfall. It is still raining out there, but the rain is much lighter than what it's been. We're looking at some steadier showers to the north. A few passing showers are expected throughout the course of this evening, along with some patchy drizzle. Even some patchy fog is possible. Current temperature 57 degrees. Temperatures hold steady. As you get into this evening, it's cloudy, it's cool. I want to grab a jacket. It's going to be in the 50s here throughout this evening and tonight, but we do warm back up, a return to sunshine beginning tomorrow afternoon. We're going to look at the forecast coming up. Kristen, back to you.
School starts on...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. As expected, a cool day. Temperatures in the 50s, on and off rain showers for most of the day with a breeze. Not pleasant to be outside, although I know some of you have been waiting for a day like this for weeks with the hot summer that we've had. We're taking a live look in downtown Utica. One thing we can all agree on is we need the rain, and we did get rain. Many areas picked up about 1/2 inch to 1 inch of rain, heavier amounts south of the Mohawk Valley. Current temperatures, 58 in Westernville, Little Falls, 56, Inlet 57, across southern valleys, 55 in Hamilton, Cooperstown 54, Oneonta with 54 degrees. Temperatures are going to hold steady tonight. The rain is going to move out. It'll linger around with a few patchy showers, patchy drizzle, even some patchy fog. But again, it's not going to be consistent. It's not going to last all night long. It'll be here and there. This actually could last into tomorrow morning before things start to clear out. But again, anything on the radar, the steadier rain showers from earlier today have now moved to the east. And again, it's going to be a slow change in the weather as we head into tomorrow, but we do expect to see sunshine. With that being said, with some rain, if the grass is growing quickly because of this, if you have to cut the lawn, you'll have to wait till late tomorrow. Give us a chance to dry out. Friday, Saturday looks to be better weather days. Our roadcast is brought to you by Clinton Tractor. This weak area of low pressure continues to move out to the east again. This is not related to Hurricane Erin. This is still a major hurricane, sustained winds at 110 miles an hour. It's expected to become a Category 3 in the next couple of hours, with sustained winds forecast to go up to 115 miles an hour. This goes out to sea. It's been bringing a lot of riptides, a lot of waves along the East Coast, but again, locally, it is not playing a role in our weather directly. And again, today's rain is not related to Hurricane Erin. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast tonight. Cloudy skies, patchy fog, temperatures drop into the mid-50s. We don't cool off very much. By tomorrow morning, cloudy skies. It's going to look and feel dreary in the morning, but it's going to play out differently. We're expecting the winds to bring dry weather and return to sunshine. And when the sun does come out, it's going to warm up pretty quickly. We'll jump into the 70s in the afternoon. Looking at mostly clear skies tomorrow night, we'll drop down into the 50s. Friday looks nice. Plenty of sunshine, warm. Temperatures climb into the upper 70s, so it does warm up. A passing shower tonight, low 54. Tomorrow, clouds giving way to sunshine, 75 for the high. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Summer's not done. We're going to see temperatures back in the low 80s on Saturday. Partly sunny skies, showers, thunderstorms Sunday. And we do start to cool off again next week, but not in the 50s like today. Today was kind of a shock.
Yeah, you think? Bill, thank you. Hurricane Erin is stay well offshore, yet its impacts are churning up a dangerous situation. The message from the National Weather Service, stay out of the water. Here's reporter Michael Yoshida.
All eyes are on Hurricane Erin as the storm tracks north and nearly parallels the U.S. East Coast.
It's going to be a sunny day here, and the threats are coming from afar.
North Carolina is under a state of emergency, and evacuations have been ordered in parts of the Outer Banks.
If you've been asked to evacuate, please do so now.
On Pea Island, scoopers built up sand dunes as storm surge and destructive waves of 20 feet or more are possible.
Take photos of whatever you own that is valuable in case it gets destroyed.
Rescuers saved more than a dozen people from rip currents at Wrightsville Beach on Tuesday, following about 60 rescues at the beach Monday, as officials urge people to stay out of the water. That includes both the ocean and flooded roadways along the coast during high tide.
Don't drown, turn around. We do not want you to become a casualty of Hurricane Erin.
Erin is an unusually large hurricane, making it more capable of delivering dangerous conditions. So big, in fact, that the accuracy of the National Hurricane Center's probability graphic, which depicts the likelihood of areas getting tropical storm force winds, is potentially underselling it.
For this particular storm, we're not expecting a lot of rain. We're expecting mostly wind.
As of Wednesday, Erin's winds were impacting more than 400 miles in the Atlantic Ocean. By Friday, it could be more than 650 miles wide. In Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina, I'm Michael Yoshida.
Day one of the Great New York State Fair. Let's get you caught up on the forecast.
All right, we're talking about weather stats, and we're looking at rainfall. This does not include what fell today because the day is not done yet, but we've picked up about a half an inch at Griffiths and Rome, so about 3.5 inches since July 1st. We have a rainfall deficit that's over 3 inches. It's typical to see over 6.5 inches of rain between July 1st and today. And again, we've been about half of that. That includes what happened today. So the bottom line is we've gotten a step in the right direction with today's widespread soaking rain, but we could use more to overcome some of the low water levels across the region. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Again, some light showers continue. It will gradually come to an end tonight. The cool weather is going to be sticking around for the short term, but it changes tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon, the sun comes out, temperatures climb quickly. We're expecting highs in the mid-70s. Friday, up to 78. Warmest day of the week, Saturday. We're back into the low 80s, but looking ahead, cooler weather looks to return. Not quite as cool as today, but more likely temperatures in the 70s and 60s heading into early next week. If you do have to take the dog out for a walk this evening, you might want to grab a jacket and an umbrella. Temperatures will be in the 50s. Louie and Gus, tonight's featured dogs from New Hartford. If you want to be part of this, head to Skycast WKTV on Facebook. This is brought to you by Nissan. Kristen, back to you.
All right, Bill, thank you. The Great New York State.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. A cool, cloudy day with on and off rain showers is expected. Let's take a live look at Cooperstown. 54 degrees. Temperatures today are more common in the middle of October than they are in the middle of August. So we are ahead of the game here. It's just a taste of things to come. Of course, it's also mid-August, which means this kind of weather does not stick around. And it won't. We're expecting dramatic changes by tomorrow. We'll start out gloomy, but by the day's end, it's going to be back to sunshine and much warmer temperatures. Whitesboro, 60 degrees. Bob and Clinton, 57. Helen and Cassville, 56. Jeff and Mohawk, 56. Old Forge, 55. Alder Creek, 55. Cooperstown, 53. Skenevis, 56. Deb and Hartwick with 54. We are keeping an eye on the radar. Again, some showers continue to linger. Some heavier downpours to the north of the Mohawk Valley in northern Oneida, central Herkimer County. This line is heading to the south and east. But for the most part, we will get a chance to dry out tonight, and the weather is going to warm up tomorrow. The air conditioner getting a break today for sure. Tomorrow, probably more the same. It's going to be a cooler day. Not as cool as today, though. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's going to warm up. In fact, I think you'll be needing the air conditioner by Saturday afternoon with temperatures back into the 80s. Bigger picture shows low pressure swinging through the region, bringing us cloudy skies and some much needed rainfall. This is not related to Hurricane Erin, which is showing 110 mile an hour winds. It slightly strengthens over the next 6 to 12 hours before heading out to sea. And again, this is not going to impact our local weather. Tonight, cloudy skies, on and off showers, patchy fog, temperatures drop into the mid-50s. So we don't cool off very much tonight. We'll start out tomorrow morning with gloomy conditions. It's cloudy. It's on the cool side. We're going to be in the 50s in the morning. But then in the afternoon, it's going to be like a light switch changing. We're expecting sunshine. Temperatures pop into the mid-70s. Beautiful finish to the day. Clear skies tomorrow night. Overnight lows drop down into the 50s. And then Friday looks nice. Nice and warm. Temperatures in the upper 70s. Some spots close to 80. Tonight, passing shower. Low 54. Tomorrow, clouds give way to sunshine. A cool start, but a nice finish. High of 75. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Sunshine Friday, 78. Partly sunny on Saturday, 82. A nice start to the weekend. Cold front arrives Sunday, producing showers and a few thunderstorms, 77. Showers here Monday, Tuesday. Cooler weather. We're back into the 60s, looking ahead to Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll be right back.
With Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
So a cool day across central New York. Temperatures have only been in the 50s, but how about this? We're actually tracking, out of all things, a thunderstorm, kind of a surprise storm here. 8 lightning strikes in the last half hour. It's right here in central Herkimer County, close to Ohio. So if you think you're hearing things, you're not. That's thunder. This is going to be moving to the south and east. I'm tracking this to move just more north of the Mohawk Valley, but it's going to come pretty close. This will be heading towards Stratford and Dolgeville should it survive the trip. And while it's so cool at the surface, there is some energy aloft, which is allowing for this to happen. 57 degrees is the current temperature. Cloudy skies. It's going to stay on the cooler side tonight. Some lingering showers, temperatures in the mid-50s. The weather is going to dramatically warm up, and we'll see a return to sunshine beginning tomorrow. We're going to look at the forecast coming up. Chris, back to you.
School starts on September 4th, and the Oneida City School District Superintendent.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're tracking cool conditions along with showers and even a thunderstorm rolling through central New York. Yes, a thunderstorm. In fact, let's take a closer look here. We've had 7 lightning strikes in the last half hour from this part of the line right over Ohio. So this is just south of 365, Remsen, Ohio, Trenton. Anywhere around here, if you're hearing thunder, you're not hearing things. This is a legitimate thunderstorm. Dropping to the south and east, we'll put a track on this. I think this stays generally north of the Mohawk Valley, but it's going to be pretty close. Gray, 618, Stratford, 652. It's a pretty slow mover. Again, some rumbles of thunder with this. Also, too, given this type of environment, temperatures are warmer aloft than they are at the surface, which is unusual. We call this temperature inversion. Temperature inversions, the sound travels a lot farther, so thunder tends to be a lot louder in these conditions, and this thunder might be traveling a lot farther than usual, so you might be hearing this in other parts of Oneida and Herkimer counties as storm rolls through. But again, it's producing some downpours, and then it will be on its way out here within the next hour. Current temperature downtown Utica, 57 degrees. Again, it is a cool day. Temperatures in the 50s across central New York. Cassville, 56. Bob and Clinton, 57. Fairfield, 57. Jeff and Mohawk, 56. Cooperstown, 53. Morris, 56 degrees. Believe it or not, we haven't broken any records. As cold as it is today, it's actually been colder on this date before. Looking at our MoCast, if you do have to cut the lawn tomorrow, we're going to have to wait till later in the day, give us a chance to dry out. The weather looks favorable. Friday and Saturday, some sunny days ahead. Our MoCast is brought to you by Clinton Tractor. Low pressure moves to the east, and we'll get a chance to dry out. We're keeping an eye on Hurricane Erin. Today's rainfall is not related to this hurricane. This is going to move out to sea. It's going to produce some pretty heavy waves up and down the east coast here over the next couple of days. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast, it's still gloomy tonight through tomorrow morning. We start out with temperatures in the 50s, overcast skies, but the weather is expected to dramatically change throughout the afternoon. The sun comes back out, temperatures jump into the 70s. Should be a nice finish to the day. Clear skies tomorrow night, overnight lows in the low 50s. Beautiful weather Friday, lots of sunshine, temperatures in the upper 70s. Passing shower tonight, a low of 54. A gloomy start to the day tomorrow, but it will get nicer. We're expecting sunshine in the afternoon and warmer temperatures, highs in the mid-70s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Friday, Saturday look nice. Temperatures close to 80 degrees, but it doesn't last. Cold front arrives Sunday, and we do cool off. Temperatures in the 60s here once again Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah. All right, Bill, thank you. Still ahead here on
First Look at Your Forecast now. Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis in the Weather Center. My goodness, I've never been happier to see some rain, Bill.
And I don't mean to, but
oh, God, here we go.
This was exactly what was expected.
It was.
1 to 2 inches southern valleys.
You called it.
Half an inch to an inch in the Mohawk Valley. Quarter inch up towards Old Forge. Okay, so we're off by 0.01.
Okay. Oh, come on.
Well, the day's not done yet.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, we're all happy about this. I know the weather hasn't been great, but it is nice to get the rain. It has been so dry in August, and we've been having some water issues, low water levels, a lot of dry lawns. Again, this is definitely beneficial. Is this going to erase the drought, or at least the rainfall deficit? No, but this is definitely a step in the right direction. It has been a cool day. We've been in the 50s all day. And it's been on the chilly side, but we're not going to cool off very much tonight. This is about as cool as you can get for this time of the year. 57 degrees is the current temperature. We're going to warm up. We'll be back into the 70s tomorrow. Clouds give way to sunshine. Nice stretch of weather here. We're into the low 80s by Saturday, so it's going to feel back to summer before some cooler weather returns as we get into early next week, although we're not quite as chilly as what we dealt with today. Comfortable night. Can keep the windows open. Keep the house cool. Temperatures drop into the mid-50s, so we don't cool off too much further tonight. We are tracking an end to rain and a return to sunshine. Look at the forecast coming up. Ben, back to you.
All right, Bill, thank you very much. School starts 2 weeks.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
Good evening. We are taking a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. It's looking a lot quieter than it did earlier. We had a lot of rain, and we even had some thunder. New thunderstorms that crossed into Oneida and Herkimer County. And it was an unusual setup for a couple of reasons. Number one, temperatures in the 50s, right? How do you get thunderstorms in that case? Well, it's about air rising. And it's not rising at the surface, but it's rising aloft. You see, the air was warm aloft, and the air was rising. We call it elevated convection. So this is how you can get thunderstorms in cooler conditions. This type of environment is called a temperature inversion because it's cool at the surface and it's warm aloft. Normally that's the opposite. It's usually warm at the surface and cool aloft. In this type of weather pattern, when we get lightning, when we get sound, as in thunder, the sound waves refract or bend back to the surface, which means the sound travels a greater distance in this environment than it would on a typical day. We actually had people hear thunder from Rome, which was 20 miles away from the thunderstorm. And again, that's very unusual. And you could blame the temperature inversion for that. The cooler weather means the air conditioner gets a break, but you will likely need it as we head into the weekend. We are expecting some warmer temperatures. If the grass does grow someday and you have to cut it, looks like Friday and Saturday will be good days for that. We definitely need the rain, and it's going to help green things up a bit. Our MoCast, by the way, is brought to you by Clinton Tractor. Today's rain is not related to Hurricane Erin, which is still a big hurricane heading out to sea, likely to become a Category 3 again before weakening. Not playing a role in our weather, though. Showers out there this evening will be coming to an end. Overnight lows drop into the low 50s. Cloud cover will be extensive tomorrow morning. You're going to wake up and think, oh no, not again. Another gloomy day. It's going to play out differently. Winds turn into the northwest. Skies will clear out. Temperatures are going to jump. We'll be in the 70s in the afternoon. Tomorrow night, clear skies. Overnight lows drop down into the low 50s. Friday looks gorgeous. Lots of sunshine. Great day to be outdoors. Temperatures in the upper 70s. Lingering shower tonight, 54 for the overnight low. Patchy fog tomorrow morning. Again, a gloomy start, but sunshine to finish, 75. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Summer's back. 78 Friday, 82 Saturday. Showers, thunderstorms arrive Sunday as a cold front moves in. We do cool off. We'll be in the mid-70s Monday into the upper 60s Tuesday and Wednesday.
Now, I got my hair cut down at the Union Station Barbershop today. The big topic, fall foliage. What is this dryness going to do with the foliage? Some people up north, near Paseco, Old Forge, are saying they're already starting to see the colors turn.
I'm not entirely sure. I know that we had a wet spring, and that helps. My thought is that it's probably going to be muted, but this is not my level of expertise. I do the weather. The leaves are not always easy to tell.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to have to wait and see.
Oh, I promised everyone that I'd ask you, so there, I held up my end of the bargain. Thank you very much, Bill. Forecast tonight at 11, Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. A sight for sore eyes, and I'll be darned, you were right. Well done. Well done.
Talking about the forecast from last night. Yeah, we're happy to get rain. We're happy the forecast worked out. 1 to 2 inches expected across the southern valleys, and then lower amounts to the north. Every bit helps. Of course, we'd like to see more in the North Country too, but we'll get our chance in the future here. By the way, 3 inches behind in terms of rainfall since July 1st, and we have a deficit which has gotten smaller after today. It is nice to see that soaking rain across the region. The rain is moving out. Temperatures are remaining in the 50s. It's cool out there, 57 degrees, cloudy skies, just a light wind. Temperatures are going to warm up. It is not going to be as cool over the next couple of days. We're going to dry out. We're going to see some sunshine, and again, some warmer days ahead. Tonight, comfortable night. Leave the windows open. Temperatures remain in the 50s. We are tracking sunshine to return, along with the latest on Hurricane Erin. Look at the forecast coming out. Ben, back to you.
Bill, I'm going to clip that high five in.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. Still pretty gloomy out there tonight. Live looking downtown Utica, temperature of 57 degrees. Still a few lingering sprinkles across the region. Patchy fog is possible tonight. So live look at the Airfield Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Earlier this evening, we had thunderstorms, which is very unusual. We had a round of storms to the north in northern Oneida and central Herkimer County. And we had a very unique setup where that thunder sounded really loud. And there's a scientific reason why that's the case. It has to do with the temperature profile of the atmosphere. It's very cold today, relatively speaking. We're in the 50s. As we go higher in the atmosphere, the temperatures are actually warming up. We call this a temperature inversion because this is the opposite of what's typical. It's usually warm air on the bottom, cool air aloft. But today it was the opposite. And when thunder happens and sound travels in this environment, the sound waves bend back to the surface. This is called refraction. Normally, the sound waves go the opposite direction. And so in this situation, the thunder does sound louder. It can travel much farther compared to usual. And also, this is a scenario where we can get thunderstorms developing in cool weather because the air is rising aloft. The warm air is there, it's just above the surface. So kind of an interesting setup tonight. You don't see that too often. Air conditioner, well, that gets a break. Again, not something we've seen much of this summer, but you will need it by the weekend. The weather does warm up. And the grass, which is very happy today, when it does start growing again, and if you do need to cut it, looks like Friday and Saturday will be good days to do that. Our Mowcast is brought to you by Clinton Tractor. Today's weather now moving to the south and east. This was not related to Hurricane Erin, which is still a big storm and still producing some heavy waves along the eastern seaboard. This will continue to head out to sea and play no role in our weather whatsoever, at least locally. Tonight, clouds linger around. In fact, you're going to wake up tomorrow morning. You might have some choice words for your local weatherman. It's going to be cloudy. It's going to be gloomy. You're going to be thinking, what happened? Well, this is expected. The clouds will diminish, and you will be smiling later in the day. The sun will be back out, and it will be a lot different. Temperatures will be back into the 70s. Clear skies tomorrow night. Overnight lows drop down into the low 50s, and then Friday looks gorgeous. Lots of sunshine. Great day to be outdoors. Temperatures in the upper 70s. Passing shower tonight. Low 54 tomorrow. Clouds give way to sunshine. 75 for the high. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Sunshine Friday, 78, 82 Saturday. It's going to feel more summer-like as we head into the start of the weekend. Cold front arrives Sunday. Showers, thunderstorms, cooler weather to follow. Back into the 60s by Tuesday and Wednesday.
You know, my girlfriend's going to be happy going home for a couple days tomorrow. So my mom has a pool. Of course, the dog likes the pool. Amanda likes the pool.
Good weather for the pool.
Amanda likes throwing the ball for the dog. The dog then jumps in the pool. So
everybody's happy.
Perfect. Everybody's happy, and it's going to be a fun